Good afternoon, RIT 201 student, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your good writing. I just got done reading the descriptions of places, and those were really nice. I've been sending a lot of messages to students saying, thank you for writing this. It's really been fun to read. You guys are doing a good job. Hang in there. I hope you're doing okay in this time of the coronavirus. I hope that you are finding ways to enjoy yourself, understand yourself, whatever. Speculate, be somewhat introverted about things, look into your life a little bit, see what's there. I wanted to just give you two things today. One is a reminder, and the other one is just a brief rundown of part of Book 7 of Augustine's Confessions. The reminders of this: you have 3 due dates left, 3 things left. This Wednesday, April 8th, comparison contrast essay. You can use this essay as an opportunity, use this due date as an opportunity to do your own comparison contrast essay that's going to be a part of your spiritual autobiography in which you compare yourself to Augustine. I've talked to you about this before. It's the opening little micro essay in your spiritual autobiography. You compare what you're up to in your pages, what you've been thinking about in your life, your writing style, your approach to life, your philosophy, your views. You compare those to those of Augustine, as we have found reflected in the Confessions. So you can just do that. You can actually get a start on your spiritual autobiography and turn in 1.5 to 2 pages on Wednesday, April 8th, D2L. It's already up and ready for you. There's an assignments folder. Queenie, sorry, my dog is whining. That's what I wanted to remind you of. That's the first due date. The second one is April 15th, an essay of exemplification. I'll give you more information about that. Again, 1.5 to 2 pages. And then the third thing, so that's April 15th, April 8th, this Wednesday, April 15th, the next Wednesday, and April 24th, the last day of scheduled classes when we used to have them. April 24th, your spiritual autobiography is due. Those are your 3 due dates. I also wanted to touch base with Augustine's Book 7, because you do need to write a comparison contrast essay. The first 3 pages of your spiritual autobiography will be this comparison contrast between you and Augustine. We are getting to the end of our readings. We are stopping on Book 8. Book 7 and Book 8 are partner books. Book 7 is his intellectual conversion, the conversion of his thoughts and his mind into Catholicism, and Book 8 is his spiritual conversion, his emotional conversion, the other side of that coin. So in Book 7, which I'm going to just touch on a couple parts of today, it starts on page 133. That's where Book 7 starts, and so he's still, remember, under the thrall, under the influence of the Manichees, these people who believe that the whole existing universe is made up of 2 physical forces clashing against each other, good and evil. Augustine always thought of life as a battle. He also thought of God as a person and as a thing, as a material entity. And in Book 7, he releases his thoughts from the bondage to material reality. He's no longer believing by the end of this book that God is a body, that God occupies space, that God has density, etc., etc. So that's where this whole book starts and goes. I just wanted to take a look on page 148, and I'm going to let you go. It's already been 4 minutes. He's talking about the fact that God is all good, God is immaterial, God is justice, God is truth, God is goodness, God is beauty, and all of these things are immaterial. You can't find them, they don't exist in space and time. This might remind some of you of Platonic, that is Plato of the ancient Greeks. This might remind you of his notion of the forms, because he was influenced by Plato. But anyway, this is his thinking in chapter 13 on page 148 and 149. For you, evil does not exist. And not only for you, but for the whole of your creation as well, because there's nothing outside it which could invade it and break down the order which you have imposed on it. Yet in the separate parts of your creation there are some things which we think of as evil, because they are at variance with other things. But there are other things again with which they are in accord, and then they are good. In themselves, too, they are good. And all these things which are at variance with one another are in accord with the lower part of creation, which we call the earth. And he goes on and he says, basically, I no longer wished for a better world at the end of all these meditations, because I was thinking of the whole of creation, and in the light of this clearer discernment, this better understanding, I had come to see that though the higher things are better than the lower, the sum of all creation is better than the higher things alone. The sum of all creation is better than the higher things alone. This includes things like the COVID virus, which is running rampant in human society. It includes human societies, the people who govern us, and the rules that we come up with to try to deal with, say, a life-threatening illness. Let's think about Augustine and how would he say that even this life-threatening virus is an opportunity for us to find what is good. Well, maybe it will teach us to value life. Maybe it will teach us to value life in ways that are not exactly in concert with what we're being told to do. Put on masks, have gloves, constantly sanitize, never go outside, keep 6 feet from between you and other people. These are the recommendations. I obey them myself. But maybe there is some inherent risk in life. Maybe the viruses that take us out also make us dredge down deeper into life and understand what is great about life and how beautiful it is. And maybe all of our control mechanisms, which cannot stop the outbreak of viruses, maybe these also need to be investigated, to be thought about, to be pondered over. Yeah. So even in a virus, especially a virus, something that brings us close to our mortality is something that brings us close to a thought process that could yield a greater and deeper appreciation for every minute that we're alive. This is, I think, something that Augustine might say about it. I encourage you, of course, to follow all of the CDC's regulations. Keep yourself safe, keep your loved ones safe, and be well and be happy. I'll check in with you again soon.